Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithful? It's your boy Mike from Nothing But Honest Crew. And guys, we are here with another March Madness at midnight, baby. Make some noise. Let's go one time for your boy, man. Shout out to everybody who is watching right now, those people who have preloaded questions. For those of you who are unfamiliar with how this thing works, just type questions, and I'm going to answer. We have 15 minutes, rapid fire questions. The more you type, the more I answer, and the further we get along in this show. That's it. Does it have to be about the 49ers? Can be if you want. Does it have to be about NFL football? Can be if you want. Does it have to be about sports? It can be, but it can also be about anything else you want to ask, man. I am your genie tonight, and your wish is my command. Well, you ask questions and I answer. I'm not granting wishes or anything. I wish I had those kind of powers. See what I did there? I wish, genie. All right, never mind. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started here. Look at that. My first joke right over your head. It's all good. Here we go. Good evening to my fellow faithfuls. How's it going? He's talking to y'all, not me. I heard that Miami is interested in Mac Jones. Seeing as how the Dolphins have the 11th pick in the draft, who would you take with it? I'd take Sadiq. I believe Sadiq is that tight end. Listen, there was a lot that we have to get figured out here. A lot. At pick 11, it's a little too high for me to go and say offensive line because I don't think they're taking a tackle at 11. I don't think. Now, if Trent Williams' deal isn't done and there's a left tackle sitting there and you want to get him and move on from Trent, that's a different story. But I don't see the Niners doing that. I don't think Kyle has that kind of faith in offensive linemen. I say at 11, you're looking for an edge guy or an offensive weapon. So I wouldn't be mad at Sadiq, but I'm just not sure. Maybe a wide receiver might be better. We really, really, really need wide receiver help, and you can get like the guy at 11. So maybe that would be it. Maybe 11 would be a wide receiver. All right. DJ doubles up here. Is this back-to-back for DJ? It is. Okay, he says, if we aren't able to get Tyler Lindenbaum from Baltimore in free agency, would Connor McGovern from Buffalo be the next best center to sign? Probably. If you're looking for centers in free agency, then yeah, that would probably be the way to go. The question with me is always, why are these teams letting them go? The center is not an expensive position to keep or retain. So why are they letting them go? Like, what are the flaws that we see? And will they be better than what our center currently is? Right? I want to see guys staying engaged. A lot of times our center was standing around, but that wasn't necessarily his fault. You're going up against a 3-man front and everybody's taken. And you can't go downfield and get on anybody because then it's a legal man downfield. So I think a lot of the fault that people laid on the foot of Brindle and all that, I think that was kind of a little bit of it was misplaced. So, we can improve for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I would need to know what these guys' weaknesses are. And then his last question here is, what are your thoughts on the Eberflus hire? Another guy in the system, another guy who, is going to come in here. And Kyle's done this thing where it's kind of like these last 2 seasons in a row, it's like, hey, I don't want to have to think about the defense. So I'm going to get a defensive coordinator and I'm going to get somebody else that can look over that defensive coordinator's shoulder. Right. And so it's going to be Raheem Morris and Matt Eberflus, right? Which is cool. And last year, we know what it was. It was Robert Saleh and I'm blanking on my man's name, Gus Bradley, right? Like, so it was 2 people over top the entire defense. I think that's what Kyle's game plan is for the remainder of his time here. He wants 2 guys watching over that defense. And if that means I have to give somebody an assistant head coach title or whatever, that's what I'm going to do to get them here. And so this is a sign of growth. I do like it. And I like what Eberflus was able to do with some of his previous destinations with the linebacking group in the secondary. So those are the areas that we need the most help in. I'm not mad at it at all. All right. Let me see. Is there a question here? I'm not mad at this here. Might I recommend adding frozen pineapples to a glass and adding coconut water? I had coconut water one time in my entire life, and it gave me the runs. Or am I thinking about aloe water? Maybe it was aloe. Or maybe it was coconut with aloe in it. But for whatever reason, when I think about coconut water, my stomach just like it does it immediately. So I don't know. Sorry if that was too much information, but it is what it is.
Excuse me, bitch.
Yeah, I said it. Sorry. All right, here we go. Let's keep this thing moving here. OG Big Mike, what's going on, Mark? This is Mark's first question here. Let's go party horns. He says, OG Big Mike, how's your week been? So far, so good. Have you ever tried Taffer's brown butter bourbon? No. And I'm going to tell you why. I am no longer a guy of like flavored bourbons and all. Like if I go and get a bourbon, I just want it to be like what it's supposed to be. I think the last like flavored thing I've had like that I purchased, it was years ago and it was something called like Screwball. And it was like peanut butter whiskey. And it was good for what it was, but it was so sweet. It's just not my thing. I'm not going to knock anybody who likes it, but that's just not for me. The second question here, though, now look at this. What do you think of Kyle? Why do you think Kyle opted for an in-house hire for tight ends coach, but outside hire for assistant offensive line coach? Some new hires were announced. Here's what I think. I can't call it, but the tight ends have been so unproductive that you should have gone anywhere except inside. If this guy was already here, it makes me question what you think he's going to add to the table. So how much better do you think we're going to get? My hopes are not high. I like the idea of going from the outside. Now, this can create some things, right? Let's say the offensive line improves, whether it be through personnel, whether it be through new scheme, whether it be because this offensive line assistant coach comes in. Everyone's going to blame Chris Forrester and say, see, he was trash. He needed somebody else in there looking over his shoulder. So this is setting up for something dangerous, in my opinion. This is dangerous, in my opinion. I do believe that they throw some resources at the offensive line this offseason. Or I guess I can't call it the offseason. The season's officially started. I can't call it the offseason, but I do expect them to throw some resources at the offensive line. I expect the offensive line to be improved from what it was last year. And that's whether or not this new assistant coach is coming in here. All right, Mark, with the back-to-back, he says, assuming Kittle is back by midseason, what do you think is a bigger need? A running back, too, who Kyle believes can do what he wants, or an Aaron Hernandez type of tight end to complement Gronk, a.k.a. Kittle? This is a really good question. If the offensive line improves, I think Christian McCaffrey can get back to his ways of running the ball effectively. The Niners have invested in running backs, whether they be late draft picks, unsigned guys, or even bringing in free agents. And so I don't think they're going to trust another running back as long as Christian McCaffrey is here. If they're not forced to trust another running back, it's not going to happen. I don't care who it is. It could be a clone of Christian McCaffrey. The original guy is going to be out there as much as possible. So I kind of think it might be a waste of time to invest anything serious in running back too. So with that said, you definitely want to go out there and get another tight end, another good pass-catching tight end, because we don't know how long Kittle's going to be out. We don't know how long he's going to be in once he gets back. You got to have that replacement level guy there. And there are some people out there who are sold on Farrell. You know, like maybe that's fine. You know, maybe some people are sold on him. I'm not. You know, I think he was serviceable, but I didn't see anything spectacular about him. He was good. He was good for usage. Oh, there we go. He's responding to him. Here we go. Niner Faithful says here, hey, Mike, do you cook? If so, what's your favorite dish to cook? I don't get to cook a lot because I have a wife that loves to provide for her family. Now, I'm saying loves, but she might actually hate doing it. I don't really know. But I like to get down in the kitchen. I did a fish fry once. I had a blast doing that. That was probably one of my favorite things to do. Washing it up and getting it all ready. That was a lot of fun. Fried chicken was fun. Now I'm saying that I don't eat a lot of fried food. So these things are like experiments and seasoning up the flour and all that stuff and figuring out how to make it stick and get the flavor there. That was a lot of fun to do. I like cooking a good steak. I like anything that I can add some like sauteed onions and peppers to. Oh man, a little bit of vinegar and pepper. Oh my goodness. And you can add it with whatever you want. Add it to mashed potatoes. You can add it to broccoli, right? Like white rice, like anything. So I don't really have a favorite thing to cook, unfortunately. I make the best deviled eggs you ever had in your life, though. Just putting that out there. Like I am the man when it comes to deviled eggs. All right. What is on your bucket list travel destinations for you? I've always said I want to see the Northern Lights, but I want to be in Alaska when I see it. Shout out to my cousin. So I do want to get out there and check those out. I want to go to the Rock of Gibraltar. I want to see the Colosseum in Rome. And then I would like to go somewhere that's like just very scenic, like clear waters, you know, and like natural landscape, clean skies. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not quite sure where that would be. Where do they film all the Narnia stuff and Game of Thrones? Wasn't that like oh god, my mind is blanking. My mind is blanking. But they where they filmed that stuff, that was all like very, very nice, like just open space and the air just looked clean. Like the air looked delicious. Like I want to see what it tastes like. All right. Mike, do you think the team should stay put or move up or back in the draft spots? Ronnie, this is a good question, man. And honestly, it's going to depend on what free agency does, right? It depends on how busy they are in free agency. We as much as I want to turn the page to the draft, I really do want to. And I've started looking at prospects and different people. The truth of the matter is, let's say I fall in love with a wide receiver who is going to be a late first round, early second round guy, but we go out and we trade for T. Higgins, or we sign Alec Pierce and trade for T. Higgins, right? That takes wide receiver off of your target list. So I can't answer that question with complete honesty. I will say that we don't have a lot of draft picks at this current moment, and so if we are going to get anything else, moving up is dangerous. Trading back always seems safe, but it also depends on if we're going to trade anybody, right? I'm cool with moving back if you trade Mac Jones to the Dolphins. That was an earlier thing, so I'm going to use that. At 11, you're rich. You can trade back into the teens, even to the early 20s, right? Late teens. And now you can build some stuff. And now all of a sudden you go from having your handful of picks to having 7, 8 picks. That's the kind of thing that you can do. So if we get a trade and it's an early pick, then you can go out there and back up a little bit, Will we re-sign John and Kyle? Kyle, yes. John, I don't know. It seems like they're like positioning themselves to move on from John. This is, I don't know. It's tough. But I think this duo has been together for a really, really long time. I wouldn't mind them shaking it up a little bit. And if they decide to move on from Kyle, I mean, hell, who am I to argue against that? It's not like I'm gonna stop cheering for the team. It's not like I'm gonna stop covering them. Right? If the person that comes in is terrible, I'm going to be doing a bunch of shows complaining about this new trash ass head coach. I survived the Chip Kelly days. I'll do it again. That is no problem. There's absolutely no problem. But as long as you guys have been watching nothing but Niners, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have been here. We have won 0 Super Bowls. We've had 2 appearances. Is it time for a change? Do head coaches and GMs in tandem usually get this long of a tenure together without bringing home a ring? I don't know that to be true. I don't know that. Mike Tomlin, but then again, so I don't know. I don't know. Here we go. Hey, Mike, question. Do you think Kyle just hires yes men? Yes, I do. That is the easiest answer in the world. Like, you know what? Let me think on it. Hold on. Let me ponder that. Okay, I thought about it. My answer is yes. It's still yes. All right. Ben is in the building, says, what's good, big dog? Faithful familia. I get Kyle runs the same plays and teams can at times figure out what we're doing next. Why can't Kyle get his hands dirty and try something different? Kyle does try things that are different. We just don't notice it, or when it works, we're like, yay, and we don't even say, like, man, that was something different. Like, we don't highlight when he does things that are different. But there are times where he can get stubborn. He sticks to his script and he sticks to his plays, and it becomes very predictable. I mean, we can see it coming. We know the defensive coordinators of the opposing teams can see it coming as well. And some, I spend a lot of time chalking that up to, he's setting something up. There's no way he's just doing this and ramming his head against the wall. But then when you watch games like our last game against Seattle, or the second to last game against Seattle, right? Like, it's like, all right, you're doing the same thing and expecting different results, Kyle. It's not going to work. And there's times where he draws up a play and we just couldn't execute on it, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like it's too many. I've got one play that's going to work in the middle of the series versus let's have little amounts of success and matriculate down the field and then take a shot if we have to, but still be able to do the small things in case that big shot doesn't work. It feels like each drive has a specific play in it that's going to be the boom of that drive, as opposed to let's just go out there and get 4 or 5 yards every single play, at least. And I think that's what people want to see. I think people are tired of like the gimmicky, this one play is going to be the one that works. I know it, and we're going to hit it. That's not a good way to run an offense. And that's what it's starting to feel like. All right. Delvin's in the building. What's going on, Delvin? He said, Mike, do you think the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl in our house set a fire? I sure hope so. I ended up picking the Seahawks to win that one. Obviously, they were the better team, but also because I wanted that exact thing. That's exactly what I wanted. Not only did they win the Super Bowl in our house, you had an opportunity to knock them out. Couldn't do it. Didn't do it. Right? We had that chance. And not only did they beat us, they embarrassed us in our house on our field. I mean, not in our house, it was up in Seattle, but you know what I'm saying? They beat the dog shit out the Niners. And the Niners should absolutely be offended by that. So, yeah, I hope it set a fire, and I hope that it sparks some changes. I want to see some serious changes to this team. They've already started shuffling around the coaching staff. I applaud them for that. Let me go ahead and give them a round of applause. I like that. Right? New defensive coordinator, new assistant coach to look over the defensive coordinator, defensive assistant, right? You see the tight ends guy getting promoted. You see a new offensive line guy coming in here, right? So, and I'm assuming that's what he's going to be doing. That's what he did in college. So we have to see how it all shakes out. That's what I want to see, right? If you keep going into this thing the same exact way as you were before, the roster just keeps getting older, more injured, and you're not doing anything to replenish it. We're just waiting to fail. We're watching to fail. And let me tell you guys something. The cool thing is this. The Niners did sneak into the postseason. We're not going to have a first place schedule. I don't even know if we're going to have a second place schedule. Where did we finish in the NFC West? We might have finished third in the NFC West. Where did we finish? Where did we finish? We did. We finished third. We finished third in the NFC West. So we're going to have another kind of favorable roster schedule, but it's not going to be like that last place schedule we had this year. So, it's going to make a difference. It's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher. Let me tell you right now. But the third place is going to help us out a little bit, but not that much. We gotta really hit this ground running. And everyone out there is like, oh, you keep saying get rid of Kyle. Who you wanted to be then if you don't want Kyle Shanahan? All these teams are hiring new coaches and whooping ass. Why not us? Look at the turnaround with the Bears. They did it. Right? Were they great? No. They had flashes in the pan at times, right? But they made the postseason. That's what they're doing the same shit that we're doing, and we're the veteran team. We're the team loaded with the talent already and established systems. Why not us? Like, we're so afraid of change because of the unknown. Ooh, the unknown. You think they're going to go out there and purposely hire a bad coach? No, they're not. And I think that they're making changes in this front office, right? You hear about the new CEO and the new president of the team and all that stuff. You hear about all these promotions, right? Someone else to actually look over this team and give a damn about the product that they're putting on the field. Jed was so hands-off. Let me tell you guys something. If y'all think that this CEO change, right? Jed York, owner now, CEO, no more. If y'all think that CEO change meant absolutely nothing, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong. Now there's somebody to sit back and look at Kyle and John and say, if you aren't doing your job, you're going to be gone. That's what that change meant, because Jed said, I'm going to make a hire because I fucked up with Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to make a hire. I'm going to step back and I'm going to let these guys do their thing. And Jed was true to his word. He was true to his word from start to finish with Kyle and John. He did nothing but hire and promote and rehire and re-sign and extend these guys over and over and over. Well, enough is enough. Jed, we get it. You like these guys. You're a little too close to the situation. Step away. Let somebody else do it. And I hope that Al Guido can be that guy. I hope that Al Guido can be that guy to make them see, hey, if we're changing who the fucking CEO is, what makes you think that you're safe as the GM? What makes you think that you're safe as the head coach? Now it's time to light a fire under these guys. So, yes, I do think that Seahawks winning the Super Bowl in our building lit a fire. And it starts at the top. And they went right to the tippy top and made the change right away, Delvin. It's going to trickle down. I'm telling you, it's going to trickle down. It might not happen this year. But if we go out there and we underperform, heads are going to roll. Mark my words. That's going to do it, guys. Love and appreciate you guys. I'm out of here, man. Prepare for glory. Anticipate pain. But always, and I do mean always, remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at these dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking